Hello and welcome to Myra's Crafting Playground, December 21st. So day 21 of the Advent calendar. Oh my goodness, this has been so much fun in that I've been able to use, or forced to use in a way, all of the sets that I had for Christmas, which is fabulous. And now I get to show you some sneak peeks. So the rest of this Advent calendar will be about the sneak peeks, so do stay tuned. And we're going to do something a little bit different today. I made a sample card, and then what I did was I cut all the pieces in a different color using a different pad that will be offered, paper pack, 6x6 papers that will be offered in the new catalog and with the celebration. So it's kind of like a mystery card this time, where I don't know what it's going to turn out to be. I cut all the pieces, so let's see what happens when we put it together. I just can't guarantee anything though. So anyhow, this is today's little card, Let the Adventure Begin, and it's a cute little camper. And the wheels, the black wheels here, they're actually cut out. That's an extra layer of paper put on there, as well as the door. So the trailer itself is colored, except I've got some wheels here and the door. So depending on what kind of card you make, these pieces can be popped. There is a window that pops out there, so you could put another color in there if you wanted to, whatever you want to do. So, but when you open up this card, there's another little inside. So when I made this card, I was thinking about a couple I know, and let's see if in the comments they self-identify, but you know, they don't quite exactly do this kind of camper, but they are campers nevertheless. And this just struck me as an anniversary card. On the flip side, maybe a redneck wedding or something, I don't know. Let the Adventure Begin and the Happy Campers. So, and these are all cut out and glued on there, by the way. I didn't pop any of them because they are the inside of the card, and so I didn't want it to close with too many bumps and lumps. So, all right. So this, let me show you the stamp pad, or pardon me. So Adventure Together is the name of the stamp set. And as you can see, there's the camper, the two verses, the chair, the trees, and then the die cuts that go with it. I think I've pretty much used it. The only die cut I didn't use was this grass, which, I mean, surely to goodness we could probably put on there if I really wanted to. And I think I used every stamp in there as well. So that's kind of crazy. But anyhow, so that's the stamp set. Here is the dies that I did use. So we've got the fire pit, the chair, the tires, there's the trailer door. This is for the Let the Adventure Begin verse, the two sizes of trees and the camper, and this one here was for Happy Campers. And this one here I didn't end up using, but I did cut it out, and it gives you a real tire track. Now, it just cuts out the paper. I actually squared that off, just so you know. But an interesting die nevertheless. So those are the dies that I used. The stamp, pardon me, the paper packs I used, I'll just reach over and grab them here. So on the first card, the card that we know what it looks like, this plaid paper is from the Timeless Plaid 6x6 Designer Series paper, and it has all kinds of, let's see if I can spread this out a bit, all kinds of plaids. Just to give you an idea, there's more than what I'm showing there, but all kinds of plaids. and they are double-sided, and I want to say double-sided. Well, on the other side there's checkers on some, gingham on another. Whoops, everything's going to fall out of my hands. Yeah, a mix of gingham in different colors and the checkers. So, but lots of different colors of plaids as well. So I chose the green and I believe it was Lost Lagoon. Okay, my paper's not going together. But the colors that are in there are Basic Beige, Boho Blue, Cajun Craze, Calypso Coral, Cherry Cobbler, Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, Lost Lagoon, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Pebbled Path, Pecan Pie, and Wild Wheat. So you can see that there's quite a spectrum of colors there. So that's from the plaid kit. And then a little something different, we have the Toadstool Gardens paper pack, and it's all sort of, okay, you can see sort of, I think there's 4 or 6 sheets of each. And from the back a bit more, there was more toadstools and different gardens. So it's a little bit different. The color that I picked out of there was the Melon Mambo, but it's also got Early Espresso, Fresh Freesia, Granny Apple Green, Poppy Parade, and Pumpkin Pie. So a little bit brighter, a lot more feminine. So that's why I thought, okay, we did the one card that's kind of more masculine. Let's see what happens when we use pinks. So a little bit different, and let's give it a try and see what happens. So come on down to the table. Yes. I don't know if you've ever participated in a mystery card. Oh, everything's falling today. Whatever. A mystery card. I don't know that it's a game exactly, but the idea is that I would tell you all the pieces you need, and you would go in your stash and dig them all out, and we'd find out what the card is as we're putting it together. So that's kind of fun. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm thinking I'm doing now, since I started off with this card, and now I've got all these pink pieces happening here. So, okay, first things first. So the card base started out as 4 1/4 by 11, and then I cut 2.5 inches off the front, which gives me that sort of flap if you want. Okay, so I've already done that on this card base. I made my same card base like I normally would. So that's side opening, and then I cut away 2.5 inches, so I believe I'm left with 3, and that's my card base. And again, as you know, I like to get rid of pieces, so let's get rid of pieces. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my inside. So instead of the Mossy Meadow, let's see if I can get that in camera here. Instead of the Mossy Meadow, I'm using white and Melon Mambo for my inside, just so it matches with my tulip paper. So I don't know if you know a lot of people who like to camp. I know maybe it's a little bit of a dying thing. More people, whoops, there went a 12-inch ruler. More people like to glamp than camp these days, I think. So let's get that paper down. So I have just put together, I'll get my little cheat sheet here. I have just put together a piece of Melon Mambo at 5 1/4 by 4, and now I added on my white at 5 3 3/4. So that's that's in the base. And then I'm going to take another piece of Melon Mambo, which is 2 3/4 by 4, and I'm going to add 2 1/2 by 3 3/4 piece of DSP. So if you're doing this from your stash, whatever designer series paper you have and whatever coordinates with it. So I'm just going to add that on here. And then I'm just going to add this onto the front of my card. And let's put that on there. So when I cut the DSP, I made sure that my design was going upright and that it wasn't going the wrong way, although Lord knows that's happened before as well. So I'm trying to line this up with my inside piece. Okay, so now we have this. And then, since both of my white pieces, I'm not coloring directly on them, I'm just using them as layers on top of the Melon Mambo piece. I'm just going to add these. And again, oh, I did use the perennial postage die to cut out these white pieces. Not even sure if that was actually, I think it was actually on my magnet board, but I didn't point it out. Okay, so I've got these two going on. Now I've pre-taped, as you can see, I've pre-taped one of my Melon Mambo pieces so that I only have tape on half, because when I put it on there, the other half will be exposed when you open it. So don't tape it all the way around. So I'm going to pop that on the front. So I've only got tape on half. And if I were being true to form, I'd tell you that I started putting tape on the whole thing before I realized what I was doing. So I'm just going to place that there. Okay, so now I have my flap on my front. And to make sure my back aligns perfectly, because you don't want to see it when the card is closed, I'm going to take the tape off here. Now let's make sure that we're in camera. Okay, I'm going to take the tape off here. I'm going to put it sort of back to back on my front piece, and then I'm going to close. I'm afraid to shift. Okay, I'm going to close my card and press it down, and then you can see when you open it, it's perfectly aligned. Okay, so there's the card. Now it's just the accoutrements here, really. Let's see what I've got. Okay, so I have got, move this all in. I have my tall tree. It's easy because I've already put one card together, so I've cut the pieces and I'm kind of just copying it. So don't feel like this is like, wee-hee, you know, we're doing this so easily. I was working on this for a while before I came to a final satisfied design. So I'm just going to take the tall tree in the set, and I'm just going to align it sort of on the edge of this. Let me turn this. There we go. just going to align that there. So I just sort of put it there, and that's because I want a lot of the tree sticking out on top of look at that, I didn't pre-stamp that. We get to do something together. So I'm going to start stamp, let the adventure begin. And again, the discussion about pre-cutting or stamping first, but of course, like I say, in these videos I have to have everything sort of organized. Alright, so we'll give that a minute to dry. So that's the die cut shape. So I don't have measurements on that. You'd have to, and if you're working from your stash, you'd have to look for a verse that you like that fits for the stamps that you're using. Now this one's really tight, so I got to be pretty precise here. Let's see. Oh, a little bit off, but that's okay. Again, handmade, not Hallmark, right? So this one here, I did pop this one, so I'm just going to grab some Stampin' Dimensionals here. Oh my goodness, I'm at the end of another one. Can you believe it? I have been using these up like no tomorrow. I'll have no problems reaching my $75 to get some Celebration products. If you have any questions about Celebration or what products are available, those on my mailing list should be receiving their catalogs if they haven't already. Okay, so I'm just putting this down on the corner. Okay, so the only thing left here is my camper. And so I'm going to get these on. Use some glue. Now I know I had pre-cut a pink door. I'm not seeing it here, which is making me sad. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm just going to pop some, whoops. Didn't realize there was that much glue on there. Alright, so I am going to pop my pink door on, whoopsie, on my camper, and I think I just wiped off so. Now these would probably look really good in silver. I just did them in black. Oh, and I think I wiped that glue off. There. Alright, so far we've got the door and the wheels. We're going to go with white walls. And then I'm just going to sort of follow the same color scheme as I did here. So I did the, and I know I could be using my blends, but I'm using my markers. I didn't want to have to worry about things bleeding. And since the areas are quite small, you don't see too much of the streaking that you normally see with the markers. So I am I'm just carefully coloring all of this. And like I said, it's not a large area, so it's okay. Now what else did I do here? Okay, so now I am going to go with, well, we're definitely using the Melon Mambo, that's for sure. So every second flag here is going to be pink. I'm sort of excited to see how this is going to turn out, whether this is a good idea or not, but I wanted to show you the two different paper packs. Now there is a toadstool stamp set and punch, but I'm not using that today. You can see all of that when you get the catalog. If you need a catalog, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. And I can pop one in the mail to you because our postal workers are back on the job. Yay! So that's exciting. All right. So now I need another color that I want to pull out of the paper, and I think I'm going to go with the orange, which is kind of crazy, but okay. And my pumpkin, oh no, it's okay. Look at this. You know, since the alcohol ink markers, the Stampin' Blends, came out, we forget about the nice, simple markers, but for small areas, they surpass the blends hands down. My humble opinion, because it's just the bleeding that you worry about with the alcohol ink marker. I mean, there's a place for everything, right? Okay, so in keeping with my contrast that I have going on here, we have an orange camper. Can you imagine? And I probably should take my glasses off. I don't need them for near. And if I get too near the artwork, I won't be able to see anything, which is kind of hilarious. Most people are putting glasses on and I'm taking them off. But not too much to color. Some people like coloring, other people don't like coloring at all. Which one are you? Are you one who likes to color? I don't mind coloring, but not like this in front of the camera, because, you know, that's exactly how you're going to make a mistake, right, when you're on camera. All right, so there's my camper. Kind of funky. Now, again, in keeping with what I did on my other ones, this window box I made yellow over there. I'm beginning to think it probably would have suited green on here, so maybe I'll change that. But you know what? I want to change it. I want to change it. And I want Granny Apple Green. Now, since I already have yellow there, I'm not sure how that'll work. If it changes the color too much. not too much. All right, there. Okay, so this one was popped up. Let's see if I got enough of these left. Nope. So never ever throw this kind of stuff away. This is all usable Stampin' Dimensionals. So don't throw it away. You want to maximize the use that you get out of these products. So I'm just going to I'll do an extra little one there. All right. So look at that. We finished the outside of our card before we finished the inside. So yeah, I cut all the pieces out, which takes a little bit of time, but you can decide again with your stash what you feel is worth it to you. So, you know, they're kind of cute, different but the same. The different papers, the different colors, the same card. I just thought you might enjoy that. So now the inside, I will make my Melon Mambo chairs. I actually think I have pink chairs in my backyard. Oh my goodness, I'm missing spots. But of course, if you have a pink camper, you've got to have pink chairs. Well, here it is, the 21st. I can tell you, next year we will be doing the 12 weeks of Christmas. This has been very, very challenging to do the Advent calendar, but we did it. We did it. So we're good. We're good. All right, so I've got my chairs. Now, I'm going back to the Stampin' Blends for the fire, and the reason for that is because I want my flame, my point on this particular marker is totally bent, so it doesn't put the color where I want it. It's a bit out of control, but that's okay. So while this is still wet, look at this. Yeah. Okay, let's forget that end and let's go here. I'm going to bring in some orange, and I'm just coloring on top of the yellow so that it's blending together. And I'm going to do the same here with my poppy. I'm just bringing in some red up, but not going quite all the way, so it sort of blends out. And then if you really want to sort of make it blend out, I just go over it with the lightest color again. Okay. Then I opted for Cajun Craze just for the top of the, oh, there's my nighttime music. That's when I usually shut my devices off. Okay, so I've just put some Cajun Craze up there, and then the rest of the barrel I'm going to do in Pecan Pie. So there is my fire pit. So now all we have to do, bring all of this back on screen here, is just put it together. So we'll quickly, and this is, I'm just going to put the chairs down. Put the first one down. Not going to press too hard yet because I actually want to slip the other one a little bit behind it so that they look like they're side by each. And so I'm just going to slip that one a bit behind it. Give it some pressure there, make sure all the glue sticks. Then I'll put my tree down, just because again, things in the background, putting them down first, so anything that I want to put on top will be in the foreground. And I don't want to quite put my spruce tree on fire, so we'll add the little fire pit, because you know you like to be warm and toasty, whether it's in the summer roasting marshmallows or in the winter with hot chocolate. Now for my happy campers, I'm just going to add a strip of tear tape. And pop that on top, right up there on my card. And I think this is fun. Just two different colors. You don't know what you're going to get. Well, you know what you're going to get, but it's kind of fun just to see different designs. So here we go. 2 cards. Get my big finger out of there. Oh, wait, I forgot to add the embellishments. I have 3 rhinestones on this one. I'll add that on top. And inside, fun. I thought that was fun. I hope you like that. Something just a little bit different, and still some new supplies from our upcoming celebration and new mini catalog. So, I'm Myra Webb. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and if you'd like any of our products or a catalog, please reach out to me either in the comments below or message me. That's fine. So, thanks and have a great evening.